I've had quite a few crashes since then, but this thing flies. So finally, I got to build my FPV quad right here in your face, baby. This baby flies pretty good, as you will see in the flight test video. So I made a tutorial about it, just like all the steps I took to build this drone. So this video is split into different segments, like all the tools I used and then the actual quad build. I don't include the beta flight setup and all the software stuff. I even had software issues, but I'm not even going to include all the troubleshooting I did. I'm just going to show you all the steps it took, and then eventually take it out to the field for a test flight. In the initial test flight, I actually had the run cam mounted on this stuff here. I don't know if you can see that, but the camera angle was way too high, so the video was just unusable. So in subsequent video, I'm going to make a separate video where I correct all that, but for now it's just the build video for this. Feel free to skip to any part, just skip, because sometimes I ramble off a tangent. And now that I've run out of further ado, let's get into the build. Ciao. All the parts I need for this build have arrived except for the props, but I think the props are the last thing I need to fix, so I'm kind of ready to go. I'm charging my LiPo now, so these are the four motors: the camera, the flight controller, and the stack and ESCs, the frame, which is the first thing that came in, and this is the antenna, and this is the video transmitter. So I'm going to start making this build. I think I'll start by fixing the motors. I'll remove these top plates and we'll see how this goes. So to make this build really easy for me, these are the tools I'm going to be working with. This gun type soldering iron, you've seen me unpack it. The regular soldering iron, they are both adjustable temperature, so I'm going to need this comes in handy. We have heat shrink tubes, precision tool sets, lock ties for the motors actually, and these to strip wires, and of course multimeter comes in handy, and I'm going to be using zip ties too. So I've gone ahead to remove the top plates from the Nova frame because I need to start fixing the motors and the flight controller. So first thing is, these motors come with different sets of screws for different frame sizes, and I think my frame size is 4 mm thick, so I'm going to try to use these 4 mm screws to attach the motors to the frame. And I'm going to dry check it first that it fits without touching these motor coppers in here before I actually then use the lock ties, because you need these lock ties to hold these motors in place. So I've done the dry check and the 4 mm works, so I'm going to use these lock ties to fix the screws in place. This will be my first time of using this, so bear with me if you see me doing something really stupid. Okay, and squeeze that little thing. Ooh. So I've gone ahead to add to fix all four motors, and I added heat shrink tubings to each one without really shrinking down, and then zip tie them to hold them in place. So the next step will be for me to cut the wires to length and solder them to the ESCs. So some soldering action. I'll trim them just enough so they're not too long and they're not too short. Too short is going to be hell for me. I'd rather they be too long than too short. Okay, something like that. This is scary because if I make a mistake, I'll have to go back to the AliExpress site. So I've gone ahead and stripped the wires down. Very little stripping, you don't want to strip a lot so nothing has any chance of touching. So I'm going to be tinning with this. I think this is where this soldering iron shines. You just go in here and dab and you're good. Like, it's very straightforward. Dab and you're good. Dab and you're good. So just a little dab. So I made a little mistake previously. I flipped the ESC the wrong way and tinned it. So this time I'm going to do the correct thing. I'm going to apply. I flipped it the correct way this time. And here we go. I'm tinning the pads of the ESCs. So now I'm done tinning those pads, and as you can see, if you can see, so I'm done attaching the ESCs to the motors to the ESCs. So this is a much neater job. My soldering has improved in like 5 minutes. Next would be to fix those contacts, those battery leads. So then I gotta work behind the scenes, but now I want to solder the battery leads. This is going to be kind of challenging, I know. I'm gonna pull it off. But my only fear is I may have fried the ESCs. I'm not sure. I pray I haven't. Next step is to mount flight controller, with the forward pointing arrow facing forward, and then start connecting other things to it. The flight controller is going to be soft mounted, so I've added the rubber grommets to it. So I heard it helps the flight controller behave itself better. So I mounted the flight controller now, and I've connected the leads back to the ESCs. So all I have to do is start soldering on these pads. I've heard the camera is the easier thing to solder, so maybe I'll start with my camera. These pads are smaller than those on the ESCs, and this is my only working soldering iron for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the heat without the lead. I'm going to use external tiny leads for this. So I'm going to be tinning these pads. This is calm, right? Alright, that's neat. What I'm doing now is mounting the VTX at the back of the quad. So this is the back, right underneath this battery lead, and I've soft mounted it. I've put some of those rubber thingies in it. When you're ready, okay? Yeah, that one's in place, and then the last one. I'm gonna pre-tin these pads right here, 9 volts, right? So it's gonna be 9 volts ground. TX3 is my smart audio, and vid is vid signal from the VTX. So I'm gonna pre-tin these front row pads. So at this point, the build is pretty much complete. I don't think there's any other soldering. Okay, apart from my receiver, I've not added my receiver. But apart from that, we are almost good to go. Almost good to go. I'm gonna check for continuity though. So make sure if you're building this, make sure you always read the documentation so you don't make silly mistakes. Okay. I think I heard something pop. I'm not sure. I have to check for continuity now. This is scary. Okay. I heard something pop. I don't know what it is. I don't have a smoke stopper, so. But no sound. No smoke, but no sound. VTX is powered also. Is this normal? Someone help me, please. Thought I was supposed to hear some kind of sound. So I'm ready for my test flight, and yeah, everything's already assembled. I'm flying with the Cobra S and powering it with DJI Mavic Air batteries actually, and Fly Sky receiver. That's basically it. And this is a 4S battery, by the way. Alright, see you in the air. So after all the tests I've done, a lot of people still ask me, is it flying? Does it fly? Blah blah blah. So here is your video proof. I have to stay away from this guy. I'm also scared of it, right? So I have to be flying in angle mode, bro. I'm very careful. So I'm in angle mode. Let's proceed. And that's it. So that concludes it for this build tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions at all about building this stuff or about what I was doing in the video you didn't really understand, you can let me know in the comments below. And if you're Nigerian, especially Nigerian, and you're an FPV pilot or something, if you fly FPV in Nigeria, I would like to link up with you. I'm trying to build a community here, okay? So let me know what you think about the video in the comments below. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. See ya next time. Ciao.